So the midpoint formula on a number line is the first number plus the second number divided by 2. So just add them and divide by 2. Now the midpoint on a coordinate plane is add your x values and divide by 2. Then add your y values and divide by 2. So this will give you midpoint. A segment bisector is anything that cuts a segment in half. So a segment bisector cuts a segment in half. So into 2 equal pieces. So you have a segment, cut it in half with a midpoint here. Put my little tick marks showing me that I have 2 equal pieces. And last thing we're going to talk about is partitioning a line segment. So partitioning a line segment is finding a point that's not the middle. Okay? So partitioning is a point, and I'm putting PT for point, that's not in the middle. Finding a point that's not in the middle. So it's going to be a quarter or a third or 3/5 or whatever. Okay? So since I'm talking about partitioning, we're going to go ahead and go down and do questions 4 and 5 because they deal with partitioning. So I want to do those two together. So look at number 5. So number 5 says that point B is at -8, and point D is at 6. Find point E so that it partitions BD in a ratio of 3:7. So first of all, I'm going to give you guys, there's a formula that works every single time, and I'm going to write it out in words so that it makes sense. So to find a point, so you are going to take your starting point, you're going to add the fraction, and you're going to multiply by the distance. All right? Now, you're going to be given all of this information except the distance. You will have to find the distance. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a line BD. So I'm going to draw a line segment BD, which is located at -8, 6. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the distance of this line segment because I'm going to need it. So the distance is -8 minus 6. So your absolute value, first number minus second number, which is -14. The absolute value of -14 is 14. So this is my distance. The fraction is given to me right here. That is my ratio. So this is your fraction. And your starting point is the first number, which is where you're starting from. So the point I'm looking for is point E. The starting point is -8 plus my fraction times my distance. Now, what I do know is that there are 7 sections on this line segment here. So I'm going to add 6 points equally spaced just so you can get an idea. Mine aren't equally spaced. We're going to pretend that they are. Okay, so I have 7 sections on this line segment. I want to find where the third one is at. So starting here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So point E is located right there. It's the third section. But I need to know where. Okay, so I'm going to take this and do the math. So this is -8 plus 3 times 14 is 42. 42 divided by 7 is 6. -8 plus 6 is -2. So point E is located at -2. So this is -2. And that is where my partitioned point goes. Looking at number 4, it's the same thing. So we're going to find our point, we're going to start at A. We're going to add our ratio times our distance. So we have point A to C. This is -1 and this is 9. And we're going a ratio of 3/5, so there's 5 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going 3 in. So again, 1, 2, 3. So this is where point B is going to be located. I just need to find the actual number. So the distance is first number minus second number. So the absolute value of -1 minus 9 is -10, which is 10. So point B is located. Your starting point is -1 plus your ratio is 3/5 times your distance 10. All right, 3 times 10 is 30. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So -1 plus 6 is 5. So this is located at 5. That is all you have to do to partition. Follow this little rule right here. And everything is given. All right. I will tell you on your assignment, you are going to have to know how to convert. So, for example, all right, let's go back here to number 3. Number 3 says the midpoint is S. Okay, so what we have is we have RT. So segment RT and the midpoint is S. So R is located at 1,6. S is at -2, 3. And they said to find the end point. When you're doing your assignment, make sure you're matching the directions up. If it tells you to find the end point, then put it at the end because that's what you're looking for. So all you have to do is think, okay, if S is in the middle, then I have to be the same distance from R as I am from T. So if I'm at 1 on the number line, and I'm going to walk to -2 on the x-axis, I have to go to my left because I'm starting at the positive and I'm moving to the left, which means I'm subtracting, right? How many steps am I subtracting?
3.
So if I subtract 3, then I have to subtract 3 again because you have to stay the same distance away. So -2 minus 3 is -5. Then you do the same thing on the y value. 6 to 3. I have to go down 3, so I'm going to go down 3 more, and that puts me at 0. So that means point T is located at -5, 0. So that is my other end. But you have to make sure that you're paying attention to the segment and what's the midpoint, because you want to make sure that you get that midpoint in the middle of those two ends. On number 2, it says to find the midpoint. So all you have to do is add and divide by 2. All right. So write your 2 points down. -5, 2, 1, -4. Add them together. So -5 plus 1 is -4. 2 plus -4 is -2. So if you take those two numbers and divide by 2, -4 divided by 2 is -2. -2 divided by 2 is -1. And that is the midpoint. right, our last one here, it says A is the midpoint of segment JG. So if I have segment JG and A is the midpoint, I'm going to put the middle and I'm going to put my tick marks so that my eyes know I'm looking at two congruent pieces. Since JA is 3x minus 2 and AJ is 5x minus 10, I know from my video we talked about JA is equal to AG. So since I know those two pieces are equal because it's a midpoint, I know that 3x minus 2 is equal to 5x minus 10. So now you just solve for x like you always do. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And I'm going to have to move over here. So I get negative 2 equals 2x minus 10. So I'm going to add this 10 over here. I get 8 equals 2x. So x is 4. Now it does say to find the length of JA, so I'm just going to plug it in. 3 times 4 minus 2. 12 minus 2 is 10. So JA is 10. Now my question to you is, if this is 10, then I know this side is also 10 because they're the same size, because these tick marks tell me so. So that means the whole thing, part plus part equals whole, right? Make sense? Your assignment, if you have a ratio of 2/7, it's not 2/7. This means 2 sections compared to 7 sections. So 2 sections compared to 7. How many total sections is that? 9. So your fraction would be 2/9. So this would be the ratio that you would use in your in the problem. All right.